There are different ways to create a rectangle that has an area of 32 square units. Some of the things that I could use are a ruler, centimeter squares, an array, or graph paper. Today I will use an array. I know I need to use 32 squares. So I will start by shading an area and seeing how many squares I have used. So far I have used 4 times 5 squares, or 20 squares. I still need 32 minus 20 is 12. I still need 12 squares. 1, 2, 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. So I can shade these squares to give me a total of 32 shaded squares. I notice that the number of squares on this side is 4, and the number of squares on this side is 8. 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. This gives me my area. My area is equal to 32 squared units. The perimeter is the distance around a figure or shape. Here I can see that this side is 4 units, and this side is 8 units. The perimeter of this figure is 4 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 4 is 16, plus 8 is 8 plus 6 is 14, carry the 1, 24. So my perimeter is 24 units. I drew the previous rectangle from knowing the area. I can also draw a rectangle if I know the perimeter. To create a rectangle that has a perimeter of 32 units, I need to remember that 2 sides have to be equal, and the other 2 sides also have to be equal. If I start with a figure that has 4 units on 2 sides, I would have 32 minus 8, since 4 plus 4 is 8. So I would have 12 minus 8 is 4. I would have 24 units left over for the other 2 sides. Since they both have to be the same length, I can divide 24 by 2. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. So I would have 12 units for each of the other 2 sides. If I wanted to make a figure to have a perimeter of 32, I would make it 4 by 12. I always like to check my math before I move on to another question. To get the perimeter, I add 12 plus 4, which is 16, plus 4, which is 20, plus 12, which is 32. Yes, the figure I made has a perimeter of 32 units. I could also start with a figure that has sides that are 5 units long. I need to figure out how long the other sides need to be. I could subtract 10 from 32, which is 22. I know that the other 2 sides need to be equal, so I can divide 22 by 2. Which is 11. Now I know I can make my rectangle 5 by 11. Remember that this side is also 5 and this side is also 11. Let me check my math to make sure that my rectangle has a perimeter of 32. 5 plus 11 is 16, plus 5 is 21, plus 11 is 32. Yes, my rectangle has a perimeter of 32 units. As you can see, many different rectangles can be drawn to fit the same question. The important thing is that you double-check your math after you have drawn your rectangle. You need to make sure that the rectangle you drew satisfies the question. In questions where the area is given, you need to multiply the sides of the rectangle, just like you would in an array. In questions where the perimeter is given, you need to add up all the sides.